This is Real Deal Sports Talk, December 1st, 2018. With your boy, KP.
That man Brandon, the damn rambling amateur. I ain't a fan of his, motherfucker faker than mannequins. That dude Kellen be acting harder than city felons, but he really jealous and niggas softer than Cinderella. Hating ass nigga. Wow, alright. Damn, I wonder what niggas to stop hating. I guess it's been ingrained since Cain dropped Abel. It's not a fable, these niggas is looking foul, flagrant. You could tell from a mile away that my style waving. Bitches stare in amazement like they were stargazing. Your bra returned with a sword jaw, cigar fragrance. I played the cards that was dealt, the faces is all aces. The irony of a fallen angel is God's favorite. Yeah, my whole persona so abrasive. I'm ice cold like being frozen in cryostasis. I'm bar raising, my written verses is all raises. Who else you know who can spit it hard with a suave cadence? Yeah, it's half man, half amazing. I'm so vain that I'm quiet singing my own praises. It ain't a phase, I'm stuck in my ways and not changing. I guess the way I was raised that made me so audacious. These rap patrons put their faith in the wrong places. It's safe to say I was preordained for the coronation. Make sure my crown is all flooded down with all glaciers. I took a bow as the crowd stood for an ovation. That dude Kellen be acting harder than city felons, but he really jealous and niggas softer than Cinderella. That man Brandon, a damn rambling amateur. I ain't a fan of his, motherfucker faker than mannequins.
Y'all never gonna make it, take the microphone and hang it up, is what a hater said, took the
And welcome into Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. It is December 1st, 2018. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. It's Saturday morning. It's the first Saturday in December. We are now 24 days from a lot of people's favorite holiday of the year, that is Christmas. So I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday spirit, being willing to give, looking past all this political nonsense and all this divisive hatred that we have going on right now in the country, and trying to find that little bit of inner peace, that little bit of happiness that keeps you motivated, that keeps you going, and hold it close, keep it close. Do something nice for somebody else. You know, help somebody else out this season. Help somebody else out outside of this season. Just try and be the best you can be. That's what we're trying to do here at Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. We are trying to be the best we can be. We want you to be the best you can be. So definitely, let's make it love. Let's make it what we're here to do. We're here to talk about sports, right? So, many ways to get a hold of us, many ways to listen to the show. You can check us out on all of our different social media feeds, that's for sure. You can go to the website. At the website, realdealsportstalkwithkp.com, you can find all of our links. You can find links to all of the friends of the show and the different things they have going on, whether it's in the real estate world, the addiction recovery world, the music world, the speaking and motivational speaking world, what have you. You can find their information there on the website. You can see different ways to contact us. We have a form you can fill out if you want to light me up and let me know how dumb I am or how great I am. By all means, go ahead and do that. You can submit it. You can also submit your email address if you want to get back to me. You can get to the text line from the website, 720-515-5597. Our email address is also on the website as well, rdst.wkp@gmail.com. So, with that being said, nice little intro. Welcome to December, the last month of 2018. Man, has this year gone by fast. It's one thing that I've noticed the older I've gotten, the more wisdom and knowledge and age has come, is that time is a precious thing. I mean, when you think about it, one moment, one reaction, one bad choice means so many little different things throughout time. When you're a kid, you have nothing but time. You have time to do everything you want. You got time to go play games, play sports, do this, do that, watch your TV shows, all these things. It seems like you got nothing but time. But the older you get, the more you realize time goes by really fast. And here we are, the end of 2018. And we got all kinds of stuff we can be talking about with sports. We're going to have some good stories today. We're going to have some bad stories today. We're going to have some stories that cause some mixed feelings today. All centered around sports. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to start with this story. Didn't make a lot of news. It was a marathon in China that was taking place. And in this marathon, like a lot, they double back on each other to make the course fit in whatever city that they're in. Well, in this marathon in China, there was, between the two sides of the road, there was a large median filled with trees, plants, kind of like a little miniature forest area, right? Okay, very thick, very covered. And it divided two streets that this marathon was taking place on. On one side, runners are running the other way. On the other side, they're doubling back on a different part of the course. Well, as human nature is, knowing that most of you can't actually run 26.2 miles, there was a number of individuals that decided to cheat. They decided to cut through this wooded area and jump over to the other side of the street, and they got caught. They got caught on police camera cutting through this wooded area of the course. A couple other people cheated in another way. I say a couple. It was 258 people that were disqualified for cutting through this wooded area in a marathon. Now, me personally, I'm never going to sign up for a marathon unless it's some kind of walking, sitting, TV, sports, football type, marathon. I'm not a runner, never been a big runner. Even in my playing days, the running outside of actually playing the game was my least favorite part of preparation. So I guess I can kind of get inside these people's heads, thinking that they were going to get away with something, thinking they didn't want to run that far, but they did want to cross the finish line. Wrong as it may be, I can kind of get myself into that space. I'd probably just stop running, start walking for a while, maybe start jogging a little bit after I walked, decide if I wanted to finish. I might have just walked the 26.2 miles until I got to the finish line, and they could have, taken it but down by then, cleaned everything up. Might have done something like that. I don't know that I would have cut through the wooded area. All I'm saying is that I can kind of get my head into the space as to why some of these individuals who would enter an event like this would have chosen to do so. I can also see why other people start to see these people cut through and go, well, wait a second. I don't see anybody getting away with it. I'm going to go do what they do. If they're doing it, I'm doing it. That also is very common amongst, humans. We do stupid stuff like that all the freaking time. But in this case, these people, they all get caught. 258 of them at least get caught. 237 of them have been banned from the marathon for the next 2 years. And 18 of them have been banned for life. That number does not come out to 258. So I don't know what happened to the other individuals that got caught. But there you go. It happens everywhere. Cheating in sports. These guys, they don't get paid. They didn't have a chance to win. They had nothing invested in it. But they make bad choices. So I found it interesting, just the number of people that were disqualified, the number of people that are going to be serving a ban for cheating during a marathon. It's something you see in TV shows or commercials all the time, but you really haven't seen this on this level happen anywhere else. So I thought it was interesting, so we started to show off with it today. Now, one story that came out this week that really touched me personally, and it touched me personally because I've worked with the autistic population before. As some of you may know, in my other job, I work for Denver Public Schools. Currently, I'm a school technology partner, and I partner with a couple different schools within the district to help them manage and take care of all of their technology needs. I also train up the staff and, basically just make sure everything's running smoothly. Well, in previous years, I've had previous other jobs in the district, and one of them was working with the autistic population. I worked in an autism class, and I got to learn a lot about these individuals. Things that I wouldn't have thought otherwise or known otherwise. How individual they are. They're not all the same. We can't just group them in to one ideal, and this is how all autistic people are, because they're not. They're just like us. They just deal with something else day to day that we don't. So hearing this story about Kalen Bennett, young man, 18 years old, high on the spectrum. There's different ranges within autism, how functional you are, how much information you're able to retain, read, write, walk, talk, things like that can affect these individuals. They have social implications, feeling implications. They're basically just like us, except different things are exaggerated for them. And Kareem Bennett is a young man, 18 years old. He is going to be the first autistic scholarship athlete on the Division I level. Kent State is giving him the scholarship, so congratulations to Kent State for looking past this young man, Kareem Bennett's autism, and looking at who he is as a person and what he can provide. And we've seen Kent State. Kent State has done things in basketball throughout the years. Now, they're not Duke by any means, but this is a big step in equality, in everybody in this country being treated the same, which is something we're seriously lacking right now. Maybe that's why this story caught me so much. Doctors had told Kalen's mother that he wasn't going to walk. He wasn't going to talk. And he didn't do those things until he was 7 years old. So a long time of parent anguish, trying to take care of their baby, trying to take care of their child, and not knowing what the future's going to hold. And when he was able to start walking, when he was able to start talking, and he would get down on himself, or he would feel discouraged and say, I can't do this, or other people would say, he can't do this, his mother would step in and say, yes, you can, and we will find a way for you to be able to. And she kept it positive, and she kept him focused, and she gave him hope. And now here he is at 18, a large man who can ball. He's got handles, and he's getting an opportunity to go play basketball at the next level, and I love it. Congratulations, sir. Amazing story what you're doing right now, not just because you're autistic, but because you're breaking barriers. You're opening people's eyes. You're inspiring other young individuals with autism that are hearing about your story. I see the comments from parents who are writing about this on social media, and you can feel the love and the hope and the relief that these parents feel, knowing that this young man is getting an opportunity and he's not being overlooked. He's not being forgotten. He's not being pushed to the side as less than. So Kareem Bennett, I salute you, sir. I wish you the best. I hope you go on and you ball out at Kent State and you get an opportunity to even go on to the next level. Whether that be a league like the Big Three, whether it be the G League, whether it be the NBA, whether it be in Europe. Continue doing what you do. Continue inspiring. Continue being love. Continue being the best part of what we should all aspire to be. On a different note, transitioning, we got a different kind of a fight tonight. Different fight than what Kalen's been doing his whole life. Tonight we got the Wilder Fury fight going on. Two very large men. Two men that like to knock people out. One here from the States. One over from England. Wilder's made some press this week. And rightfully so. I have nothing wrong with the comments that he has made this week. I have nothing wrong with the way he spoke to the reporter about how black people have been fighting for over 400 years in this country. I don't have a problem with Fury taking his shirt off at the press conference, in the face-to-face, being the big man, not backing down from Wilder. Because face it, Wilder is a scary dude in the ring. He will knock you out. He comes with some punches that are not traditional, and he is looking to knock your block off. Now, this might be the toughest opponent Wilder's had to date, because Fury can take a punch. He is a big dude. He is a little bit of a mongoloid. I expect a good fight tonight. I expect us to maybe go a few rounds. I expect us to maybe see a knockdown before a knockout. I'm going to be tuning into the fight. I'll be following it. This is the best fight in boxing, in my opinion, in years. Now, albeit I'm not a big boxing enthusiast. I'm more of an MMA guy. I have been since the early to mid 90s, when boxing kind of lost its luster for me. They lost their personalities. They lost their champions. You know, Roy Jones, he started falling off. Tyson went away. Holyfield went away. Lennox Lewis went away. And there wasn't that name. There wasn't that guy coming up. Now, some of the lighter weight classes, they've been, doing their thing the whole time. But as far as the big boys, the Klitschko's took over and they just were not an interesting fight. Tacticians that sometimes they knocked some people out. Most of the time they just boxed their big asses until the end of the fight. Not interesting. De La Hoya was a good one. Shane Mosley was a good one. I didn't get to see the heyday in the 70s and the 80s with all the great boxers. I don't remember that. I don't remember Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns, and I didn't get to see Muhammad Ali in the ring. George Foreman until he was in his 40s. Riddick Bowe never amounted to much. But this fight, it's got some interestingness to it. Fury could catch Wilder. He is big enough. He is strong enough. We'll see how much of a punch he can take, because Wilder can throw his hands. And that's what he does. He comes in throwing hands. He wants to take you out. He wants to end it. He wants to put you down and let you know he is the dominant one in that ring. Now, Fury, he's a big You saw it at the press conference. He's a little bit taller than Wilder. He's quite a bit thicker than Wilder. We'll see where the boy's stamina's at. Because if Fury's got some stamina, this fight could go, double-digit rounds. If his stamina's not up, Wilder's going to catch him because he's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. So it's going to be a good one tonight. Check out that fight for sure. If you don't have plans, if you know somebody, team up, go ahead, order it. Everybody pay a couple dollars, have a party, get some cold pops, some snacks, get your thing going, watch that fight tonight. NFL. What are we going to do with these guys in the NFL? We have yet another player who is under investigation, who has committed a domestic violence or a violent act against another person. In this case, TMZ, far be it from them to take the high ground and not search out dirt, but I guess we can all be thankful that there are rats out there like that who find this stuff out and, expose people who are doing the wrong thing, even though they're doing the wrong thing to get the information. But Kareem Hunt is on video. Altercation with a young lady back in February. Why it's just coming to light now in November, December, I don't know. That makes absolutely no sense to me. If law enforcement's known about it, and we'll read the Chiefs' statement here in a minute, the Chiefs knew about it, the NFL knew about it, but we're just now dealing with it 9 months later. Issues with that. This should have been handled before the season. It should have been known about before the season. And whatever the investigation is with the police probably should have concluded by now, since this is all on video. And it should be in trial, or it should have been, decided by now, in my opinion. But the video comes out, young lady, group of people, they're having this party. They go back to a hotel room. Depending on whose story you listen to, there's different accounts of the event. So we're not going to talk about Kareem's story. We're not going to talk about the young lady's story. We're going to talk about the video. And the fact of the matter is, here we are, just like Ray Rice, we have a video, so everybody's got a bigger issue with the violence now because they can see it. Not because it took place, but because they can see it, which to me is a big trip. You either have a problem with something like this, or you don't have a problem with something like this. When you come up and all of a sudden you got a problem because there's a video, you just self-preserving. You're saying what you're supposed to say so your pocketbook doesn't get hurt, so your fans don't go away, so they continue to buy merchandise, which is wrong. You knew back in February you had a problem with this, whether you're Kansas City Chiefs, whether you're the NFL, whether you're the police who have not charged him with anything to this point. Now, Ray Rice, he was on video. He knocked his girlfriend at the time out. She dropped to the ground, was unconscious. He dragged her out of the elevator. Kareem Hunt in this altercation, from what I've seen in the video, he's not right. I will not make excuses for him. You don't have a reason to put your hands on somebody unless it's in self-defense. There's always a better, you can choose to walk away. I'm mad as hell. I don't like you, don't like what you're doing. I'm going to go be somewhere else. In this case, that didn't happen. In the video, you see this woman continue to walk towards him. You can't really hear audio or what's being said between them. But you do see Kareem Hunt pushing her. You do see Kareem Hunt pushing other people into her. You do see him causing them to fall down. And you do see him walking up and kicking her while she is in a crouched position. Unacceptable. If you didn't want her at the party, she's in the hallway. Go back in the room. If she's talking mess like you claim, go back in the room. Now, if it comes down to the story of what she's saying, well, then that takes this whole thing to a whole nother level. That you decided to go ahead and yell, push, and kick somebody because they wouldn't sleep with your buddy. Now, again, we're not going to get into whose story's right. We're not lawyers. We're not on a jury. We're not a court system. This is going to highly affect the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you got all kinds of public outcry out right now, right? This comes out. Reuben Foster just last week was picked back up by the Washington Redskins after being cut for the 49ers for being arrested for the second time this year for domestic violence. Now, the first time his girlfriend said she lied and made it all up. Now, from what I understand, it's the same woman this time. This happened the night before a game in Florida. And he gets picked up by another team. And the outcry that's out there right now is, well, the NFL doesn't mind if you beat women, but they mind if you kneel for social justice in the form of Colin Kaepernick. Now, everybody out there who's writing these tweets and making these posts and saying that if Colin Kaepernick beat women, he would still be in the NFL, you need to slow your roll. Because you are way off base. You are feeding a fire and you are using emotion and reaction to talk about a situation. Okay? And that can't happen in this. You need to leave Colin Kaepernick and what he's trying to accomplish and what he has accomplished out of this situation with domestic violence, because it is not the same thing. Colin Kaepernick did not commit a crime. So comparing the two situations is apples and oranges. You cannot bundle these things together. You cannot bundle Kareem Hunt and Ray Rice and Reuben Foster and these guys who have committed crimes to what Colin Kaepernick is doing. Now, you can be mad at the system. You can be mad at the organization. You can be mad at the NFL for the way they handle things. But to compare the two, do not bundle these people into the same group. Colin Kaepernick is not a criminal. First off. Now, once again, here we are. We're supposed to be in this situation where we're supposed to believe that the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs hadn't seen this video until TMZ released it. That's what we're being told. Kareem Hunt's on the exempt list. A couple hours later, Kansas City has released him. That means they've known about it. They did know about it. The hotel said they have a policy saying that they only release the video to law enforcement. Law enforcement said they would not release it to the NFL. But somehow TMZ was able to pay people off and get a copy of the video for all of us to see. Rats. They paid a rat, they are rats. Now, Kareem Hunt, I'm sorry, man. You a talented football player. You might have tried to get your life back on track since you left Alabama and went to Tennessee, and now you're in the NFL. But the fact of the matter, Toledo, sorry, I just put Alvin Kamara's stuff on your name. My bad. You went to Toledo. But here's the thing. You knew better. You've had people, mentors. You've had other examples. Ray Rice, who I'm sure spoke to your rookie class as part of the program he does with the NFL. You could have gone back in the room. Your career is probably over because of this. And you, on no level is what you did in that video anywhere near as bad, in my opinion, as what Ray Rice did. But you still chose to engage. You still chose to put your feet and your hands on somebody instead of walking away when they were not in your event. They were not in your party anymore. They are in a hallway. You go back inside. You let the hotel know what the situation is from your point of view. They go away. Now you're going to deserve everything you're going to get from this point because the Kansas City Chiefs, they're throwing you under the bus too and making it seem like it wasn't their fault. In fact, the Kansas City Chiefs say earlier this year we were made aware of an incident involving running back Kareem Hunt. At that time, the National Football League and law enforcement initiated investigations into the issue. As part of our internal discussions with Kareem, several members of our management team spoke directly to him. Kareem was not truthful in those discussions. The video released today confirms that fact. We are releasing Kareem immediately. Now, to me, this is a bunch of bullshit. Because you did know about it. You're saying you knew about it. You're saying the NFL knew about it. You're saying that law enforcement was in with it with you 9 months ago. So in 9 months, it was okay with you what he said had happened. You did not try and pursue heavily enough to see this video, and you continued to let him play just like you drafted a player like Tyreek Hill, who pled guilty to hitting and choking his pregnant girlfriend. Now, he's now married to that woman. He did serve his punishment. He did his 3 years. He did his 52 weeks of whatever class he had to take, and he paid his fines. It has now been expunged legally, so it's not on his record anymore. The fact of the matter is the Kansas City Chiefs have now shown that they are willing to pass. They are willing to let these kind of individuals come play football for them if it will help them win. Now, in the last 3 years, hey, Tyreek Hill hasn't committed another thing that we know about. He has now married that woman that he had the baby with, which, a lot of us find weird. Larry Johnson, he says, I thought I made my mistakes painfully clear. I thought I was a perfect example of what not to do. I thought by speaking aloud about my pitfalls that players after me could see these situations before they'd happen. Really fucking upset, Kareem. And that's what a lot of people right now, fans, and I'm sure other mentors and people that have reached out and tried to prevent things like this in the future because of their mistakes, are feeling right now. But we have this all across the league. We have this not just in the NFL, in the NBA, in Major League Baseball, and in hockey, where these idiot male athletes go out and do stupid stuff because they think they're macho, they think they're tough, and they're scared little babies. They don't know how to handle stuff. They don't have the intelligence. They don't have the wherewithal to take a breath, analyze a situation, and deal with it. They react, they get caught up, and they have all this money and they think they're untouchable. Well, I'm glad they're not untouchable anymore. I'm glad these politicians are not untouchable anymore. I'm glad these athletes are not untouchable anymore. You treat people how you want to be treated. Now, the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, you're complicit in this, in my opinion. You are allowing this to happen. Now, it's great. Everybody wants to go, oh, I'm so proud of the Kansas City Chiefs for making this such a swift decision. It took them 9 months for a video to come out to force them to be in the position to make this decision. This is a CYA situation right now the Chiefs are in. They're not making the right justice call. They're not making a moral decision. This is a pocketbook decision for the Chiefs. They know they have Tyreek Hill on their roster. They can't have 2 women beaters. Now, TMZ, they tried to report it. Oh, Kareem Hunt brutalizes a woman. If you watch the video, he does not brutalize her. That is the wrong term. He pushes her and he kicks her. He's yelling. She's yelling. She's the one who continues to come back to him. Now, who knows what he would have done if he would have chased her had she decided to walk away. She didn't walk away either. That doesn't make any of it right. Now, he should be suspended. He should have to serve some kind of punishment for this situation. And the police should have done a much better job in 9 months of figuring out what the hell happened in this situation. We should not be finding out from it from somebody, some group like TMZ. And here it is. We're talking all season about this Kansas City team. Look at all this young talent, all this talent. They're going to Super Bowl contenders. Might have an MVP in Patrick Mahomes. Now they're left regrouping. They've got the Raiders this week, so it might not affect them that much. This could actually propel Patrick Mahomes further into the MVP conversation. The Chiefs are in a position right now, in my opinion, they need to come out, put 30, 40, 50 points a week up so they can make this story go away. Because they put themselves in this position. They could have sat Kareem down back in March, back in February when they found out and said, look, until this is all sorted out, we can't have you around. The NFL could have said, you're on the exempt list now until we figure it out. Not until we get exposed by a tabloid TV show who searches for dirt, who pays people off for dirt, who preys on the weakness of humanity and says, I'll give you money if you can get us this footage, this audio, this picture. So this story, it's on many levels. There's a racial aspect to it because the young lady was not African American. She was not a black woman. There's the domestic violence aspect to it. There's the cover-up, in my opinion, aspect to it. We're going to shake this under the rug, and now we've been exposed. So there's the corruption aspect to it. There's the team aspect to it, now how he's letting his team down by not being there. I mean, this story is deep. We could talk about this for an entire show and not hit every opinion or viewpoint that's wrapped up in this. But the fact of the matter is we have another young man who makes a lot of money, who thought more than likely he was above this situation, whose employer and employer's boss let him be above this situation, and now have brought it to light. So we'll see how the Chiefs can recover. We'll see how the NFL can recover. With the amount of money they make, they'll both probably be fine. We'll see what happens with Kareem Hunt. Maybe he gets picked up on waivers. Probably not, because there's a video. And again, going back to how I started this off, you either have a problem with this or you don't. It's not, I have a problem and we have to do something now that there's a video surfaced. So if NFL teams really want to do something about it and you really want to be praised, like the Chiefs are being praised right now for their 9-month swift decision, when you find out about it the first time, that's when your decision gets made. That's when you sit the player down until all the facts have come to light and you can decide what's going to happen. You don't bring in people who have been convicted of crimes, who are being investigated, and decide to have them on your team because they're good athletes. As a fan and as a former player, that's unacceptable to me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to root for it. And in fact, I don't care what happens to the Kansas City Chiefs the rest of this season. They can lose out. Who cares? You put yourselves in this position. You put yourselves in this position. Shake my head. Tell you what. Whew. Well, speaking of the Chiefs, great offense this year. Saints, great offense this year. Rams are a great offense this year. I saw a tweet by Nikki Javalia she was retweeting information that Jeff Legwold had put out. He says the highest scoring offenses this year still aren't close to what the 2013 Broncos produced, 606 points. So if you guys remember, that was a Peyton Manning team. 5,500 yards passing that season, 55 touchdowns that season. Great offensive team. Ran into a great defensive team in the Super Bowl, and they got spanked because they didn't have no toughness to them. They had run over everybody all season. They had scored points on everybody all season. And they came against a team that said, I'm going to kick your butt, just like the Cowboys said to the Saints on Thursday night. And they got their butt kicked. But the Chiefs, they're on pace for 589 points this year. That's 27 points less. That's a full game almost less in points on their average. They'd have to play a 17th game to get to that Broncos. The Rams are on track for 566 points. That's 40 points less. And the Saints, they are on pace after the Thursday night game for only 559 points. That's 67 points less. That puts it into perspective. Like, we're sitting here right now talking about how great these offenses are, and they are not even on pace to be as good as the Broncos offense from 5 years ago. That team, that offense, we forget how easily, how fast we forget how good that team was and how they could score and how they moved the ball. Which leads me, as we talk about these teams, the Rams, the Saints, and the Chiefs, and we're so excited and look at all the press and everybody's talking about how great they are, to the Pro Bowl vote, to the fan vote. The fan vote should not be part of the Pro Bowl process. It is not a popularity contest. It's not how many clicks I can get for my favorite team and my guys on my team. The Pro Bowl is about who's playing the best around the league, period. It is not a popularity contest. Some of these people leading in votes are not the best players at their position or playing the best at their position. They might be playing very well at their position, but they have fan bases that are just constantly out there click, 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 clicking. Now, don't get me wrong. I vote for the Pro Bowl. I go do the little fan vote. It's fun for me. But I don't sit there and pick all Detroit Lions. I don't sit there and pick all the Denver Broncos since I live in Denver. I pick the players who I really have watched this season that are playing the best at that position. I have voted for Philip Lindsay this year. I have voted for Christian McCaffrey this year. I have voted for Zeke Elliott this year. DeMarcus Lawrence I have voted for. Khalil Mack I have voted for. The fact of the matter is the players playing the best deserve to be there. So here's my suggestion on what you do with the fan vote. You do just like the top 100 list, right? Here's who the players picked. Here's who these people picked as the top 100. So Pro Bowl voting goes coaches and players, GMs. You vote for the Pro Bowlers. The fan vote, then use that as fun information to compare and see how the fans see the game versus how the people in the game see the game. And you say, here's who the fans picked. Here's who, got in. Look at the differences. Look at the similarities. But for the popularity contest aspect to be in the Pro Bowl, I'm sorry, I'm not down with it. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. I do like John Cena. I know he's a controversial figure in the WWE world. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people like him. He's breaking off into acting right now. But the fact of the matter is nobody has done more with the Make-A-Wish Foundation than John Cena. Nobody has made more wishes come true than John Cena. John Cena continues to give back to the fans, to the people, does a lot of charity work. And I don't know him as a person. I don't know him outside of the press that he gets. But I'm impressed with the work that he does. And Sports Illustrated this year will be naming John Cena the Sports Illustrated Muhammad Ali Legacy Award. That's big things. We all know what Muhammad Ali has meant to people all across this world. And the things that he's done for people all across this world, that his foundations have done for people all across this world, for the inspiration, the hope that he has given people all around this world. So it's a huge honor for John Cena, and I respect him. I think it's great that he's getting this honor. I really do. After 14 years in the NFL, Trevor Pryce, if you guys remember him, he played for the Broncos, he played for the Ravens. He might have had one stop somewhere else, but he's got a show on Netflix, Kalahari. Just released the second season called Kalahari Dreamwalker. So big up to Trevor Pryce out there doing his thing post-NFL. And then this story here, my guys Patrick Deese and Ray Austin, who I had the privilege of interviewing and getting to know a little bit when Real Deal Sports Talk with KP was the official show of the Colorado Crush. They were the owners of the team at the time. They owned the Crush and the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles. They have since moved on from those two teams, and they are working with and have started the FCFL. That is the Fan Controlled Football League. We'll get into more of what that actually entails and everything with it when we have Patrick on the show here in the next week or so. I've reached out to him a little bit. He's a friend of the show. He follows the show, and we're going to have him on to talk more about the FCFL and some things they have going. What it all means, how the fans are going to be able to interact with their app, how they're going to be able to pick the coaches and the players and the plays and all these different things. It's an interesting concept. They started to try and roll it out when they were with the Crush, and that short season it didn't quite work out. That team ended up folding, and now they're back, and they make a major announcement this week that Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman are going to be owners of a couple of the teams in the FCFL, as well as what they're calling fan captains. Again, big announcement. I'm super excited for my guys, Patrick and Ray. Ray used to play in the NFL. Joe Montana is involved in this new league as well. So, they're just doing big things. I'm so happy for them. And we got to get them on the show soon to go over it. Have them have another platform to get this information out there to the fans, to talk about it, and to kind of let us all know why we should be excited, what we should be looking forward to, what kind of athlete are they going to have on the field compared to, say, the American Football Alliance, or Alliance of American Football, or the Pacific Coast Football Alliance that's coming out, or the what's the other one? The XFL is getting ready to come back. So all these different football organizations that are getting ready to pop up. We have the FCFL. Let's see how they compare. Who are they drawing their talent pool from? What are all the different aspects? How are they changing the game to continue it evolving? So it's going to be fun to talk to Patrick again. I actually haven't gotten to talk to Patrick in a little while now. But super proud of these guys. They continue to be innovative. They can continue to move their industry and the gaming industry and blurring the lines between them and joining them together. So this is awesome. Look forward to Patrick being on the show. And, hey, maybe we'll be able to get Ray on the show again. Maybe we can get Marshawn, Richard, or Joe on the show as well. That would be awesome. So look forward to that in the coming weeks. And then the last thing I want to talk about today, just because I found it hilarious, this week was Payless just completely fooling all these people who are wrapped up in superficialness and fashionistas and how great we are and look, we're fabulous. Well, Payless opened a fake store with only Payless brand shoes in it and invited these people down, and these idiots paid $500-$600 for a pair of Payless shoes that we all know we can go get for $20-$30. They changed the name of the store and the spelling of Payless. So Payless, Payless, normal spelling of the store name. They changed it to Palessy, Paylessy, making it sound super fancy. Well, they fooled all these people. They made them look ridiculous, and I loved it. So on that note, until next time, we'll talk to you on Tuesday. You know how we do. Just be real.
Been waiting such a long time for me.
This is a Cedro Zombie.
Yeah, they say that talk is cheap, but not with me if you want it first, it'll cost a fee. I put them seeds in the hearse the way that I torture beats. My vocal cords producing the force to lift you up off your feet. I'm off the leash when I sink my teeth in them seas to eat. At night I stalk the streets, and the day I lay in the coffin sleep. I'm death walking on 2 feet, make it hard to sleep. The rhythm that need an exorcism, the way your heart to beat. You know we starving, these rap artists is ours to eat. And when you cough the meat, make sure you serve me the largest piece.